Good evening and thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with the strain on small businesses during this pandemic. According to the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses, 80% of small companies are completely or partially closed in order to stop the spread of COVID-19. Rent is the second highest cost after wages for those entrepreneurs. But with little to no money coming in, it's getting harder for them to pay their bills. Today, the Prime Minister said he's aware of the issue, but warned opening things up too soon could come at a greater cost. Mike Drolet reports.
We are being very, very careful in how we move forward as a country.
There was no gray area in Justin Trudeau's daily address. Canada is not ready to reopen. The border, despite comments from Donald Trump hinting restrictions could ease sooner than later, is closed and will remain so until COVID-19 is under control.
If we reopen too quickly or too soon or in the wrong way, we could find ourselves back in this situation a couple of months from now, and everything we will have sacrificed during these months will have been for naught.
Facing increased pressure to jumpstart the economy, Trudeau announced $306 million in interest-free loans and non-repayable contributions to help keep Indigenous businesses afloat. It comes after Ottawa announced it was looking into a program to help small and medium-sized businesses pay their rent. Relief can't come soon enough for Do It Right Fitness for Women in Whitby, Ontario, whose owners stopped taking membership dues when they were forced to close, yet are still paying $5,300 a month rent, money that is coming out of their savings.
Probably another few months. If we're having to continue to pay rent full, we won't be able to last through June, July, the summer. We'll be closed.
The program puts the onus on landlords to give imperiled businesses a lifeline, which not all are doing. This Danforth restaurant is now closed. A sign on the door reads, "The landlord has taken possession of this store for non-payment of rent," and more could be coming. A survey by the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses found that 22% of its members had zero income coming in, while half say they won't survive another month.
What I'm nervous about is just digging myself a hole that I'm not able to get us out of.
The provinces have jurisdiction over rent and the relationship between landlords and tenants. But Trudeau says he's had recent meetings with industry groups and provincial leaders to see if a solution can be found. With rent due in less than 2 weeks, the clock is ticking. Mike Drolet, Global News, Toronto.
Many of the cases in Canada have come from those returning from the U.S. It has more confirmed cases and deaths from COVID-19 than any other country in the world. More than 730,000 Americans have tested positive for the virus. At least 38,000 have died. Despite the worsening situation, many Americans are desperate to get back to normal life. And as Jennifer Johnson explains, today hundreds of them took to the streets.
Protesters circling the state capitol and governor's mansion in Annapolis, Maryland. Joining a growing chorus of angry Americans desperate to get back to work. But in hard-hit New York, this governor, like many others, is torn between protecting his citizens and protecting his economy.
Nobody wants to reopen more than me. Nobody wants to get the economy going more than me.
Stay-at-home orders vary from state to state. A couple of governors will lift theirs as early as Monday.
Texas and Vermont will allow certain businesses to open on Monday while still requiring appropriate social distancing.
Health officials warning there may be enough COVID-19 tests for the beginning phase of President Donald Trump's three-part plan to reopen businesses and restore the economy, but not beyond that.
If these things are done correctly, what I believe they can, we will have and there will be enough tests to allow us to take this country safely through phase one.
A risky move as many states are still seeing a rise in cases. Nursing homes are being overrun. So many healthcare workers and patients getting sick, the National Guard has been called in to help. Nearly half of the centers are reporting staffing shortages.
We need the protective gear that we should have to take care of these residents. We have children, we have our own family to go home to.
The economic toll from COVID-19 is also harming millions. Food banks are running out of supplies. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is now rolling out a $19 billion relief program, buying food from farmers and getting it to food banks.
This program means that we get to eat today.
The nation's food supply is dwindling as meat, poultry, and pork processing plants have shut down in South Dakota, Iowa, Colorado, and other states because so many workers have been infected. Annie Grant died of the virus after working at this Georgia food processing plant. She had been on the packing line for nearly 15 years.
She said, baby, they're telling us if we don't come, we don't get paid or we risk getting fired. And she had to go.
The threat of the virus versus the threat of being unemployed.
Bills are piling up.
America caught in the crosshairs of a pandemic and an economic crisis, and no immediate cure for either. Jennifer Johnson, Global News, Washington.
The new series that goes inside the COVID-19 pandemic, from the front lines to the everyday heroes helping us cope with the unprecedented change. Coronavirus, the New Reality. A Global News special, Sundays at 7 on Global.